Hello and welcome to this lecture, and in this lecture we will learn how to go ahead and sort the data structures like series and data frames according to the index. So a lot of time what might happen is that when you extract information from a particular file and the index is actually predefined, you actually need to have certain method by which you could sort all the elements depending upon their index values. So this is a special case wherein you need to perform sorting of the data frame or a series depending upon the index. So in this lecture we are going to learn exactly the same. So here what we will do is that first we will create a series which is not going to have an ordered index, that is it's going to have an unsorted index, because what actually happens is that when you create a normal series the index is always sorted up. So let's quickly go ahead and create a series. So we'll type in ser equals that's going to be series, and this is actually going to be some random series with random digits. So let's say 37147. So these are actually the values, and now let's type in index and let's create the index as well. So that's going to be 2735 and let's say 9 and 1. So this is actually going to be the order of the index, and if you actually want to have a look over here, you simply type in ser over here, and when you run this code, as you could see, these here on the right hand side are the values and these here on the left hand side is nothing but the index. Now this scenario actually happens when you go ahead and extract data from a raw file and it has unsorted elements or unsorted index. So the sorting method is actually quite simple. You simply have to type the series name, give a dot operator, and you need to type in sort underscore index. So that's actually going to sort this thing by index. So if you run this code now, as you could see, now the index appears in the ascending order, that is 1 2 3 5 7 and 9, and as you could see it has the individual values as well, which are unaltered by the way. So this is how you could go ahead and sort a particular series. Now let's learn how we could go ahead and sort a particular data frame. So what we will do here is that I've actually written the code and I'm just going to paste it over here. So this is the normal data frame which we have created previously as well, but just for the sake of convenience, if you are watching this lecture for the very first time without going through the previous lectures, then this is how I have created the data frame, by creating a data structure named data2 and just passing it to the data frame method. So once you run this code, it's actually going to create frame2. So if you type in frame2 over here, if you have a look over here, this is actually already sorted, because whenever you go ahead and create a particular data frame, it's actually in the sorted manner. So first we need to actually go ahead and reindex this entire data structure and then apply the sort method. So this thing actually makes no sense at all, because we are actually just disturbing this data frame and then just reordering it again, but this is just for the sake of understanding. So let's go ahead and reindex the data frame by typing frame2, which is going to be equal to frame2 dot reindex. So we'll reindex the data frame by, let's say, the first index value is going to be 2, then 1, and then 0. So now if you again go ahead and display the data frame now, as you could see, now the data frame's index is in the unsorted order. That is, it's not like the previous data frame, which is this right over here. So now in order to sort this data frame, the method is actually the same which was applied to series. So you type in frame2 dot, that is going to be sort underscore index. So again, once you run this code, the data frame is actually going to be back to its normal order, wherein the data frame's index are actually in the sorted order. Now this is how you could go ahead and sort the index of a data frame, that is sort the row index, which is this index right here. Now in data frame you also have this particular index, which is the column index. So now we need to learn how to sort data frame via the column index. Now the column index is actually arranged alphabetically. So if you count from A to Z, the first alphabet actually appears at the first, then the next one, and then the next one. Now by default this thing is actually in the sorted order, so we somehow need to disturb its order. So what we will do is that we will type in frame2, that is, we essentially reindex it. So frame2 dot reindex. So we are essentially disturbing the order of index of this particular data frame. So in order to reindex the columns, you type in columns, and we define the columns again. So the first column in this case is going to be speed, then let's go ahead, give a comma. The next one is going to be humidity, and the final one is going to be, let's say, temperature. So once this thing is done, and once you go ahead and print out the frame 2, let's see what happens. And I guess we do have some sort of error over here. Okay, I actually have a typo in this columns, so that should be COLUMNS. So once you execute this code again, as you could see, I guess I did one more mistake. That should actually be frame 2 equals, because it actually does not make any changes over here. So if you do that, hopefully we should have the answer. Okay, yeah. So once you do that, as you could see, now the data frames index or the column index is now in the unsorted order, and whenever you want to sort the data frame according to its column index, what you simply need to do is that instead of simply typing in sort index, what you need to do is that first you obviously need to type in the data frame name, which is frame 2. Then you need to type in sort underscore index, and in here you need to type in axis. That is, you need to define that you want to sort according to the axis 1, which stands for column. So once you do that, and once you hit the run button, okay, I misspelled sort over here. I don't know why I'm making typos today. So if you run this code again, as you could see, now the data frames column index is in the sorted order. So that's it for this lecture, and that's how you could basically go ahead and sort up a series and a data frame. So we have also learned how to sort up a data frame depending upon its row index as well as column index, and it's actually quite simple. And one more thing which you could do is that, let's assume that if you want to sort the index in the descending order, so what you simply need to do is that right after this axis, you just need to define ascending, that is nothing but the order, and you need to set this equal to false, and that's actually going to sort the index in the descending order. So if you run this code now, as you could see, the order of the column index turned exactly the opposite. So now we have the descending order instead of the ascending order. So that's it for this lecture, and I hope you guys learned a few things from this lecture about sorting the series and data frames according to their index. Now in the next lecture, we will learn how to sort data frames and series according to their values instead of index. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.